Okay, so my senior research project was on to what extent does money affect happiness? And so I decided to research on this topic because a lot of people today are very money hungry. Like many people are goal oriented and their end goal is to have many riches and a lot of wealth. And it's especially relevant to us, the senior class, because as we're going off to college, we have to choose our majors. And a lot of people are faced with the conflict of choosing a major that will make them happy or choosing a major that will guarantee a lot of money. And so I guess I researched this topic to see if having a lot of money will make up for the dissatisfaction of living a life for the job that you are not happy doing. So happiness is important, so much so that the UN, the United Nations, has organized a yearly World Happiness Report. And they state that happiness is a better measure of human welfare than measuring education, health, poverty, income, and good government separately. And 155 countries participate in this report, and this report has been going on for about 10 years. So some of their conclusions, they have found the world's happiest countries and the world's least happiest countries. A lot of the world's happiest countries are, well, they all are westernized, and they all are among the top 25 best economies, so like Denmark, Canada, Australia, and the US is actually number 14. And globally, the world's happiness level on the scale of 1 to 10 is a 5. And the world's least happiest countries are all small countries, poor countries, countries that have a lot of political turmoil. So here there is a very direct link between happiness and money. And then when you look at it on a global scale, so this graph is measuring GDP per capita, which is another way of measuring good economy, and their relation with life satisfaction. So there is a trend, although it is not very linear, and there are many outliers, such as up here, all of these countries are very happy, but they have low GDPs, so bad economies. So money does not directly dictate whether or not you will be happy, but it does have an impact. So the reason why these countries are happier, as explained by the UN, is that they have better GDPs, better life expectancy, social support, trust in their government, freedom, and they live in a generous society. And all of these factors, with more income, all of these factors will increase because they can afford to do so. So, but there is one exception, Bhutan. Bhutan is a small country in the Himalayas, and they are a Buddhist country. So Bhutan, their terms of measuring development, they measure development by gross national happiness instead of gross national product. So they have started this campaign to make their people happier, and this has been going on since 1975, and they report that 91% of their population is happy, and they're number 1 for happiness equality. So what that means is that everyone in their country, regardless of social economic status, they are all have relatively the same amounts of happiness. So as compared to like the United States, you have a lot of rich people and a lot of poor people, and a lot of times the happiness of the rich people tends to make up for the dissatisfaction of the life with the poor people. But here, everyone tends to be happy. So how they do this is that they focus on their country's needs and what they want. So they try and stress good governance, conservation of the environment, preservation of culture, and sustainable economic development. And Bhutan is a Buddhist country, and Buddhism rejects material wealth and possessions. And even this country that's Buddhist, they still realize that economic development will increase their national happiness, and that's important in a Buddhist country. And just a fun fact about Bhutan, their preservation of the environment, they're the only carbon negative country in the world, and it's actually in their constitution that 50% of their forests have to remain intact. But it doesn't seem to be working because Bhutan is ranked number 84 in terms of global happiness, according to the UN. So that's number 84 out of 155. That's pretty low. And there is actually direct evidence that says money is directly linked to happiness. A Princeton study done in like 70s, it states that 75,000 a year is like key to reaching your optimal happiness. So income and happiness grow directly up until 75,000 a year. So the reason for this is that 75,000 a year is like the point in your life where you feel like money is no longer an issue, and it takes away like stress of not having money. And so what this means is that somebody that has an income of 75,000 a year and a billionaire will have the same levels of happiness. And the reason for this is that hedonic treadmill. So like people, no matter how much wealth and accomplishments you achieve, you're always going to get used to it and always going to want more. So therefore, you'll always return back to a set level of happiness that you were born with. So happiness on a scale, it does depend on yourself. So does money bring happiness?